Yeah, I don't want to go to jail for anything. I'm much too, weak.
And you're pretty. You are listening to the Stand Up Dads podcast.
This is hecka boring.
Yeah, it is.
Let's try again.
I finally listened to, I figured the 50th podcast was
Yeah,
one
thanks.
I should listen to.
Did you even listen to the first one?
No.
Dick.
No, I did sections of it where you had said, I think at that time, when we first had to listen to, how did the beginning sound?
The first one was 19 minutes long.
I skimmed them. Hey, I am just finally starting to listen to podcasts.
Because I had to teach you how.
Yeah, you had to teach me how to figure it out. I didn't
You've
understand.
been on a podcast for a year.
What's funny
You
about
didn't-
it is, for some reason, my mind had it the same way. I couldn't figure out the internet back in 1992 or something at school, where they were just okay, so we're gonna make a web page. I'm like, for what?
Yeah.
And they're like, it's the internet. What is the internet? And they're like, well, it's just this big thing, and you can go on the computer and see it. I'm like, but why?
For porn, Mike. For
At
porn.
that point I didn't know. I was just I don't know. Did I even have my own computer yet? I don't even think so.
I
It was
don't
so
know.
early on. So that's how I felt. It was you're just download the podcast. What? Where are the podcasts? Where do I find them? Everyone makes them. Why do I
Yes.
download it? How do I listen to
I think
them?
more people have podcasts than they do herpes. You're listening to Stand Up Dads. This is Rob and Mike.
Yes. Hello.
We got all sorts of shit to talk about.
Yes.
Christmas will have passed by the time you listen to this, so hopefully everyone had a good holiday.
Which I'm disappointed that you missed. You sent me that thing, and I thought it was a joke about
thing?
the photos with the Krampus
Yeah,
in Colombia.
Yeah.
Now I'm disappointed, and
I was pissed because I missed it, because
yeah.
I want pictures of Owen with Krampus.
Well, now I want to get the Krampus costume.
That's just weird.
We should do that. We should have our own photo
No.
shoots with the Krampus. How fun is that?
I don't think there's a fat Krampus out there.
Why not? Doesn't he takes the children? Does he eat them?
I don't know.
I don't know. We got to research that. I want to do that. I'll offer it to Olivia's school. Pictures of Krampus.
Yeah, that'll go well.
You did what? You sent this home with my child. You don't have to come if you don't want to. And you have to mark the box if you want them thrown in the sack.
Jesus Christ.
Do you want the photo with them in the sack or not in the sack?
Fucking A.
Oli and Owen would be like, in the sack, throw us in the sack. We're going to act all scared, I think it would be fun. And that mask I looked up looked just like those old postcards. That I
The
like.
big long tongue.
And the big goofy, the face is
Yeah.
kind of off and goofy. If you turned it black and white, it would look cool. Whereas the other ones, I don't like the ones that look like a full-on just demon that
Yeah.
would be in the TV show version of a demon,
Sure.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, those ones.
Though I
I don't
love
like
that
that.
show.
Huh?
I love that show.
That show was a great show.
It was.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're talking about.
I don't even know anymore. We were going to... What was the show?
Well, we're talking about dating for divorced dads.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But,
It's great.
yeah. Well, it's.
You're all statistically speaking, in the stuff you find, women love it.
Well, yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
When I met Kim, when we started going out, there weren't even apps, let alone dating apps. So
I know.
I'm going to
Yeah.
rely on you for this one.
Yeah.
But before that,
They had matchmakers, I guess.
Yeah.
Or those things where it would be where you would have to actually go somewhere. I would think of it as a joke back then when we were that young, where it'd be you're going to go to some hotel and you're going to meet 30 people and have
speed
5.
dating?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
only things I could remember that were even similar.
more like the Pina Colada song.
Is it in that one?
No, just remember how
Oh, yeah, where he put
in a
the-
newspaper,
Yeah.
he answers the ad, and people are like, people used to do that? That's
Yeah.
I mean, it was like Craigslist hookups, but
Yeah, and we did. Yeah, I wasn't single at that point to know
Yeah.
if that even worked or if you just always ended up you're a guy, you're not even a lady. You get robbed, dang it, again. Why do I keep falling for this?
and why do I keep sleeping with them?
Well, I'm here already.
You can keep the secret, right?
That's hilarious.
But before we get into that, Star Wars just came out.
I missed a
And-
Christmas party I could have gone to for that
Well-
because we had ordered them like
We're not
2 months ago.
Yeah, we're not here to review movies, but you and I are both nerds enough to have been watching them. You know, we saw the original ones in the
it
theater.
was pivotal. It was like, what was I, 5? I think when I saw the first one, and
Mhm.
and it was in the theaters for a
Yeah.
couple of years. So I remember seeing it a few times. Empire, I still remember seeing it the first day I
remember
saw it.
seeing
We
that
were
in
in
the
the
theater.
front row
Mhm.
with everybody all distorted
Mm-hmm.
and just how huge that was. And then Return of the Jedi. It was those were so awesome.
I remember Jedi. I was getting disappointed in it because of all the cuteness they started adding in, and I was a kid.
The second half of it was like
Yeah.
I loved all the Jabba stuff and all, but once they killed Boba Fett, I was already like, because I loved Boba Fett, even though he didn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean,
as a
Boba Fett is
costume
one of
and-
those things. As a concept, he's awesome,
Yeah.
but if you look at what he really did, he didn't do shit.
Well, what was messed up about it, which is really one of the things back then where I was so mad at Lucas because I don't. It just seems like he just like messed with the fans with that because what I wanted to see in that third movie is like we're gonna get to see him, and now we're seeing it in the
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
Yeah,
That's what I wanted to see. Is like, oh, we're gonna see him in action, and then all you do is let him get like, where is he? Bump into him, and then he falls into
Yeah.
that freaking Sarlacc pit or whatever.
Sarlacc
pit, and
to be
it's
digested
gonna
for
take 1,000 years. Like.
Pretty much, you die of starvation there.
You would think so. There was a great issue, which now I want to go look for it. Now that I remember it, there was a good run of Star Wars Marvel comics around that time, from
Okay.
late 70s to early 80s. There's an issue where Boba Fett gets spit out, and he's
Okay.
out for a while. It's a great issue, and somehow that idiot ends up back in it. I forget what it was, but it's another one where the issue's like, yeah, there's Boba Fett, and then you're like, oh, god damn them.
Yeah.
You know, but then they didn't mess with the overall story, I guess, by letting him get out for a little bit. But that made me mad back then. But still, with all that, now I can only like look at those as like the most wonderful films ever of Star Wars because of how bad the prequels were, and
Sure.
now these are so bad. This one we got to say spoilers, right? So
Yeah,
there's
well, there are
spoilers.
going to be spoilers here, so if you haven't seen it, fast forward a little bit.
I mean, there's so many things I was mad about during it that, like Chewie. It was like anything they could think of to throw in. Chewie getting his medal
Yeah.
cracked me up. Where I was just like, "This is so," and he was so happy.
Although I have to admit, part of me was like, "Aw."
You're fucking kidding me.
I thought it was ridiculous.
40 years later.
I mean, I was
someone
glad to see it.
remembered.
I saw it the day it came out because I wanted to see
Yeah.
it with a full room, so I wanted to see what other people said, thought.
Yeah. Oh,
And just the whole, like, people chuckled at that one.
that was over the top.
People were cracking up when she kisses him.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, there was no tension there. What the fuck? This came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just so much bullshit. Just
All the superpowers they suddenly had. They're
Yeah.
holding ships
They're
down.
gods.
They're healing people. Like they're bringing people back from the dead. Like
Yeah.
she was dead, and he's like, I'm gonna use my force power and give you my life force. What?
and then Leia just dies for no reason.
Yeah.
I'm
'Cause-
tired.
Well, her doing it, I actually thought when that happened, every time that I actually thought like, oh, that's interesting. Like when it looked like Chewbacca died, I was like, oh, fuck,
Yeah.
Chewie just died. No, he didn't. And then when she did that and it made him look and he got killed, I was like, that's interesting. Like,
Yeah. Nope.
he gets killed that way. No, he doesn't. Like,
And, everyone loves Chewie, but that would have made it would have given some depth.
yeah,
I mean, okay, just going into this, so
yeah,
you can give me from the original 3,
yeah,
I could name every goddamn character in there.
yeah,
On these last 3, I had to be reminded what their names were.
yeah.
Like, okay, the stormtrooper, that Finn, who's the
Yeah.
Solo looking dude, and and it's like,
Yeah.
is it Poe? And
Yeah.
they lost the ability to make you give a shit.
Yes.
I don't know. Everyone's just grumpy.
Yeah, and then Rey has no personality.
Mm-mm.
She's overpowered to the extreme. Like
Anakin had no personality in the first 3.
I hated those
I
two
did.
though, but now they look great compared to these. Like they're still terrible movies, but they don't look as bad compared
No.
to these 3, and this last one especially, because then they go and like the scavenger hunt and they get that stupid like knife that's got
Yeah.
like, oh well, thank God it didn't shift in 30 years. Like it still works. Thank God it didn't get swallowed completely by the ocean. Like I don't know, why is that even hidden there? Like why leave it there? So they've left it there long enough that they're like, well, instead of moving it, let's make a knife with a secret compartment
I
to
don't
tell
know.
people where to find it. What?
I'm sad to see the thing be
Yeah.
done, but at the same time, hopefully they keep making things like Rogue One, and because that one I actually liked,
That one was good.
and I think I liked it because everyone died.
Yeah, I wanted so many of these people to die. That's how I knew this
Yeah.
movie was bad. It's like even going into it, I was like, I hope Rey dies. I hope Finn dies. I hope and you're right. I had to remember their names only
Yeah.
because I just saw it like 2 days ago, and I'll forget them. But
Yeah.
they needed to die, and their stupid jokes, like they needed to die a bunch of times in there.
And then who the
They fly now. They
and
fly
how-
now.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny, but I mean, there were like 3 scenes where I kind of smiled,
And then he met his ex-girlfriend that's like a Power Ranger.
and you never see her face.
costume. Yeah, why could she?
I'm like,
What,
was
is
she
she
that
like a
embarrassed of being in
Mandalorian?
this movie?
Well, like, did they make it like a Mandalorian? Well, no, she showed her eyes.
That's
so I
not
don't
her
understand.
face.
Yeah, but still, you the Mandalorian, what, they can't take their helmet off? Is it like that? Like,
No.
but still, you should show your eyes there. I don't understand it. And her costume totally was to me like, oh,
Power Ranger.
a Power Ranger. Oh my
That's one
god.
of the things I liked about Star Wars, though, is they always had such a variety and stuff.
Yeah.
Is I don't know. I mean, some of them were ridiculous. Like if you look at the first Star Wars, you're like, okay, that guy just pieced together like a janitor's outfit and put a helmet on.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
I don't know. They just made do with what they had, and
Yeah.
that made it kind of better, just because it was
Yeah.
hokey. But
Well, it makes it. I don't know. That's why I like that Mandalorian so much, because they're using so many of the weird looking,
yeah,
like random types of characters, and they're making them have.
but
like,
the Mandalorian, I'm disappointed in the Mandalorian because there's no real story development.
what?
No,
It's
none.
amazing.
It's
It's
not.
totally a western from the 50s.
It is, and
Yeah.
westerns didn't really have a whole lot of substance. The only western to me that had substance was like Unforgiven, and that was done like 20 years ago.
Yeah. Well, what is it that you have a problem with? Because
It's just okay.
I think you're full of shit.
Well, like it was really interesting in the beginning. Okay, so
Yeah.
he gets, and if you haven't seen Mandalorian,
This
everyone's
is more
seen
spoilers. Yeah.
everyone's
Yeah.
seen the Baby Yoda shit. So
Yeah.
it's just interesting. Like, okay, he's a complex character. I like that.
Yeah.
But then they're just going on these little things like, okay, let's try and find a place for the kid. Oh, that's not going to work. Okay, next episode.
Yep.
Oh, that's not going to work. Next episode.
Yep.
And he still keeps trusting people that he knows are
I
going to
know.
turn on. It's
And
like,
that's
okay,
the-
dude, you're smarter than this.
And that's what we were laughing about, because it is the old westerns where it's like, come on, like even Oli was saying that, but that's why you love it. You're like, no, don't leave that baby again. Keep
Yeah.
that baby with you everywhere. She's like, he's the worst. He leaves that baby everywhere.
it's true.
I'm like, and it's true. Yeah. You
Well, the
quit,
baby's 50 years old. So.
yeah, and quit locking the baby just in
Yeah.
somewhere where everyone seems to be able to like. Can he put a code on that lock? People bump into it and it goes, psst, oh, there's a baby in there.
Yeah.
Dang it. Like, put a code on that lock.
You want weapons or a baby? Here,
Yeah.
just bump into these things.
Yeah, stop. Why is it just a button?
Although it is kind
He
of cool
needs a
seeing
key.
the cameos.
Oh, yeah.
Like the first episode, they had Brian Posehn was
Does
like the Uber driver guy.
Yeah, that was the guy out on the ice, right?
Yeah, he was awesome because I remember him describing the first 3 movies as your uncle trying to mouth fuck you at Thanksgiving.
What?
It's like, oh, my uncle, he was
Oh, yeah.
equating his uncle to George Lucas. Like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, he was really cool. He sold me his Trans Am, kind of thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then one day, he releases the first movie, and then you're asleep on the couch after eating a big meal, and then your uncle's dick is out. You're like, hey, knock it off. Just I don't know. You got to hear that.
I gotta hear that too. But did you see? Are you up to date? Are you up to number 7? Okay, so you saw that they used that Bill Burr.
Yeah,
whatever, that
Bill Burr
comedian.
is a great one.
That was great. They used him, and then Clancy Brown.
yeah, and
is
then
also-
seeing the guy from Sons of Anarchy, the guy ran.
Which one was he playing?
He was the guy that ran the show when Bill Burr was there.
Oh, okay. See, I haven't watched.
He's a
Sons
Santa
of
Claus
Ana-
looking guy. Oh, it's a
Okay.
great fucking show.
Okay.
Anyway,
And Oli was excited because Doug, my brother, pointed out to her that the girl is the girl who played Tonks in Harry Potter. So she was, and we got Harry Potter, and bam!
Jesus fucking Christ.
Everything goes back to Harry Potter.
No.
There's no 7 degrees like Kevin Bacon. Everything goes back to Harry Potter.
I think it's 6 degrees.
Everything. Is it 6 degrees or 7
I
degrees?
think it's 6. I don't know. But anyway,
God.
you and I both have talked about trying
Yeah.
to get our kids into stuff we were into.
That's the
And we're
hardest thing.
failing
Yeah.
miserably.
Yeah.
And shit like this doesn't help.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we're mad at it, and like, why would they want to be into it?
Well, it almost makes it where Oli now wants to see it because I like so like yeah, we don't need to watch that. It's the same things that I would have thought had I had Olivia when I was in my when I was 20, I'd be wanting to get her into Star Wars and the Raiders, and now it's like I don't even want to watch the Raiders. I don't even want to watch football. And then there's now this is totally like if not for the Mandalorian, I don't know if I'd be like never mind. Let's not even watch the first movies.
I just binge watched
You
Star Wars Rebels, the animated thing.
Oh yeah, you
It's
were
a
telling
kid's
me
show.
that one.
Fucking love it.
Okay, so maybe we can watch that together.
Although
me
I
and
couldn't
him.
get my kid into it.
Really?
No, I can't get him to watch Star Wars, the original ones.
See, Oli watched the first 2 with me a long time ago, and she only was excited because I had told her like you're gonna learn like this big secret that it's only a secret to people that are your age, but learning Vader. So that got her to get to that movie, and then I've never got her to watch Return of the Jedi, but she watched those 2. Not interested to watch them again, other than now The Mandalorian. But same thing where the stuff I wanted her, like I've been successful on some things, like Charlie Brown, Peanuts.
Yeah.
That's because we've taken her to the
Museum.
museum for years, so she has that built with it. The Beatles, I was successful, and that was random.
Yeah.
That was because I showed her Yellow Submarine, almost as an asshole. I
Yeah.
showed it was a year where I was watching the cousins, so it was like the older cousin Vivian, then Ava, Boo Boo, and her, and they're like, we want to watch something. I'm like, well, I got Yellow Submarine, and they're like, let's watch it. And I'm like, let's watch it.
And
I'm
I
like,
liked it.
and they loved it, and I was like, what? Even I, as a kid, was freaked out by this movie, and I liked the music, but
Well,
no,
it's better
they loved
than you
it.
trying to get them into Pink Floyd by watching The Wall.
Yeah, yeah. And she fell in love with the animated Paul. So then I'm like, well, then I'll show her Hard Day's Night and then Help, and so that worked. And then when she saw him live, then she's hooked. But other stuff like Warner Brothers cartoons, it infuriates me. I can't get her into that. It's like but it's like you won't watch. What's Opera Doc? You won't watch Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century, but you'll fucking watch well, not now. It's not Strawberry Shortcake. What's one of the newer cartoons she'll watch? She'll watch these shitty cartoons where it's like it's always the same thing. No matter how I point it out, I'm like, all these shows are the same.
Well, my kid's watching like the new Alvin and the Chipmunks, which was fucking awful. But I can't get it. Like I had him watching Rabbit Season, Duck Season, which I think is one of the best ones.
It's a great one. Those are great.
He's totally like, I want to see something else.
Yeah.
God damn it.
They are like excellent wordsmiths. Like they're excellent with. They used to only thing they'd come down on Warner Brothers is they'd be hilarious, and a lot of times they would just sort of end because they'd run out of time. But certain ones like Rabbit Season, Duck Season are ones where they were perfectly. They have great beginnings, middles, and ends. They're great. Duck Dodgers is a great one.
I don't know.
What's Opera Doc is a great one. Like, but no, won't like that. Reading comic book, I have not been able. Like, I got Olivia into the Marvel movies, but the reading of comics other than
I never got into comics.
see, I love comics, and only things that have been successful.
Well, you're a fucking comic artist.
Well, I've loved them as a kid, and I feel like it helped so much with reading and wanting. But the ones she's into are only ones that my brother. So her uncle got her into Little Lulu, which are freaking awesome, hilarious stories from the 50s where, she's just such a tough little, like hilarious little girl. And then Carl Barks, Donald Duck stories. He got her into like Magica to Spell and
Can't imagine why you can't find a girlfriend.
yeah. Yeah, that's the one thing. It's like, why are you single? Well, let's talk old cartoons and comic books and, oh, Jesus, and Harry Potter.
There is a girl out there for you, but she looks like me.
Yeah.
But I think the key takeaway from this is to get like a support group in this. Like she won't listen to you, but she'll listen to your brother.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you want to get them into something, get someone that they respect to be like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like trying to get him to read, say, well, my Uncle Mike and Olivia read these books.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll give it a shot. You know, that kind of a
Yeah.
thing.
And it works the same with the cousins. The cousins will do what I get them into. And then sometimes that'll work where it's like, well, if they're doing it, then Oli's like, well, I like that too. And it's like, do you though? Do you?
Yeah.
Not really. But I'll take that still if you're going to then get into it because of them, you know?
I think with kids, little victories are huge.
Yeah. And then certain ones to try to get them into it. Like, this movie made me feel like, when I went to it, I was like feeling, dang, I wish I had got Oli's into this so she could at least come with us. And at the end of it, I was like,
Glad I didn't bring her.
I'm glad I didn't bring her, and I need a few days to get off of the cliff of like, I'm never watching Star Wars again. It was that bad. Like, man, they did some crazy ass shit, you know, just
They went for the easy stuff, and they tried to wrap everything up, which never works.
And then they did shit where it's like that they have that power now where they can reach into like each other's like mind or something and grab shit from it. It's like the fucking Three
cool-
Stooges.
I
No,
know.
it's like I'm gonna spit in the phone and the water's hitting me in
Yeah.
the face. Beep, 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 beep. Like-
It's a cool effect. Like if you're in it, just like immersed, you're like, that was kind of cool. But then just it goes too far.
Yeah, they
It's
think
like-
it's so like
It's kind of like Bill and Ted drop like, okay, so we'll go back in time and put a key over behind this bush, and then we'll go back. Oh, there it is. You know,
Yeah.
it's like that, but just instantaneous.
yeah.
I think we've nerded out enough.
Yeah,
We should
Damn
get
it.
into
Now
it.
I'm all furious and mad, and I'm still mad about that wasting my time.
Yeah, I did. See, I didn't walk out of there pissed off,
I did.
but I did walk out like, well, that happened. Just that was it. There was no, no one else, because I've been at movies where people applaud at the end, which is always weird to me.
Yeah.
No one did that on this one, and
Yeah.
and it's a fucking long movie.
Well, here's a question I have for you. He welds his hat back together, his helmet.
Yeah,
Why does it look like he used red
I don't know.
super glue? Why does it stay red?
I don't know. It
It looks
just,
so stupid with the red there. I'm like, he didn't
what's a
use
stupid
red
looking
glue.
helmet anyway?
Yeah. All those Knights of Ren, like my brother, like Doug was saying, it reminds him of like the Knights who say knee. It's like, the Knights of Ren, we're the Knights of Ren.
I respect those
We don't
guys
do
more.
anything. Yeah.
Bring me a shrubbery.
At least the knee people were afraid of the Knights who say knee, not this.
Yeah,
Knights of Ren. Ugh.
I think the biggest part of it is they just got characters you just didn't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll live with a shitty story if I give a shit about who's in it.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, that guy could die. That guy could die.
Yeah.
That guy could die. Whatever. I don't give a shit. You know.
And any movie that that makes something important and doesn't wrap up with it pisses me off too. Where the whole thing where he kept saying, "There's something I have to tell
Yeah.
you. There's something I have to tell you," and then he never fucking said, "Well, fuck you, filmmaker."
Yeah.
Like, don't make it important if you're not gonna wrap it up. Like,
What do you have to tell her? I break into your room and sniff your panties.
yeah. That'd be hilarious when they thought they're dying. They fall into the sand and then they just land down there, and he's like, "Never mind. Do I have to talk about it? I dress as you. It's with your underwear when you're not around. What?" And then 2 minutes later, "Is that true?" No, I was making that up.
I do unnatural things with your lightsaber.
Yeah. Yeah, I lick your lightsaber when you're not around. You what? Yeah, into the sand.
Okay, enough nerding out. We're gonna
Fucking
go.
bullshit. Movie's bullshit.
So our main topic today is dating for divorced dads.
Oh, and it's wonderful.
And my wife was not happy when I told her that was the topic. She's like, "Why? You got some plans coming up?"
Yeah, it just depends how you start to word it. So, how do you go about?
So that sounds pretty awesome, huh?
How does it work, and which apps work better than others?
No, I actually am going to ask you that because you're going to be the authority here.
Yeah.
But before we go into that, I got some stuff from Louis C.K.,
Okay.
which I know we've
He's
used a lot of
funny.
his clips, but I still think he's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Jerking off notwithstanding. It's him talking about being single.
I was never good at that. Like, I was very bad at being single, which is a problem because I'm divorced, so I'm single again after 10 years of marriage. And no, here, cut the shit. Don't even start with that noise like a puppy died. Let me tell you something. let me tell you something. And this is important because someday one of your friends is going to get divorced. It's going to happen. And they're going to tell you, don't go, oh, I'm sorry. That's a stupid thing to say. It really is. First of all, you're making them feel bad for being really happy, which isn't fair. And second, let me explain something. Divorce is always good news. I know that sounds weird, but it's true because no good marriage has ever ended in divorce. It's really that simple. That's never happened. That would be sad. If two people were married and they were really happy and they just had a great thing and then they got divorced, that would be really sad. But that has happened 0 times. Literally 0. Ray Charles has killed more Jews than happy marriages have ended in divorce. So if your friend got divorced, it means things were bad, and now they're better. They're not good. Life is shit wall to wall, but they're better. So you should be happy.
So how are we so far?
I like that. Life is shit wall to wall.
You're divorced. Are you happier now?
I don't know, man. I think
You don't have to answer that because
I think it is what it is. I wouldn't say it's hard to say. All I could say is what you're trying to do now is harder because then you have to consider like even trying to date now. You're trying to use the apps, and I had people like friends try to set me up, on a profile, have them, write it for me or whatnot, and tell me all that stuff. What pictures to put on.
We're gonna get into that.
Ridiculous, But then you also realize like I put on there that I'm a dad, but I don't want pictures of my daughter up there.
Yeah.
And then that's pissed me off sometimes because some of them are tied to Facebook, and
So they get
sometimes
linked.
they'll pull a photo. And it's like, hey, man, like you're supposed to have locked it down, and somehow like it's pulled
It's
a
still
photo,
getting
and you're
in
like,
there.
what the hell? Like you try to get
There's no
because I
such
had
thing
that
as
one
privacy
person
anymore.
Yeah, I had one person write me like, oh, your daughter's so cute. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was mad. Like, what? They hunt me down, and I'm like, oh, well, the photos got replaced. Like,
Daughter's so cute. Be horrible. Something bad
yes.
happened to her.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
the hell is this? So, and then you also have to think of that too, where you're like, it's not even just. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I end up thinking too, like, is this gonna work? Where if because it's like I would rather date someone who has kids because then they understand. But at the same time, same way with a single person, you have to wonder like, well, how's this gonna work?
You're touching on stuff we're going to get into.
Okay.
So, okay. The next part is you got to prepare to be single because
Okay,
he
let's
says
see.
it better than I could.
Okay,
But the part that's difficult is being single at 41 after 10 years of marriage and 2 kids. That's like having a bunch of money in the currency of a country that doesn't exist anymore. Like I found 500 million Prussian francs.
it's true.
I can't really take advantage of being single because I didn't expect to be single. I'm not prepared. I didn't think I'd ever be. I didn't keep this shit up. You understand? I didn't maintain any of this at presentation condition. It's function only. It was not. I didn't think I would need it that way. I thought I was going to be shoving it into the same person every 3 months till one of us died.
Every 3 months.
What I thought was the nature of the deployment for this. I didn't think I had to be like appealing to someone from scratch. It's like having a 73 Dodge Dart in your backyard. And it's been sitting back there with grass growing. You don't have any. It's not an old Mustang. You have no plans to restore that Dart. You don't even see it when you look out the window. And now you find out that's your only way to work. You need that car now. And you're like, oh shit. It's got bees in it. I didn't take care of it. It's full of bees. There's a family of mice living in the tailpipe. I can't take that to work.
So
That's so true, man.
yeah, I'd be fucked if I was. Then he goes on to learning how to be single again. So here goes.
I have no single instincts. I know too much to be single. I know everything that happens now. That's no good for single. You got to be optimistic to be single. Stupid. You have to be stupid.
Yeah.
That's what
true.
optimistic means, you know. It means stupid. An optimist, somebody goes, hey, maybe something nice will happen. Why the fuck would anything nice ever happen? You stupid? But that's the attitude you have to be single. You have to look at somebody and go, ooh, maybe. I don't look at it that way. Even when I see somebody I'm attracted to. I was at a gym the other day. Why? I'm at a gym. I'm just wearing shorts. That's all I'm doing.
I'm wearing shorts.
Just standing there.
That's me camping.
And I look over and there's a girl on the, with the ponytail, and she's on this thing. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, oh, she's awesome.
Shit.
But then I started thinking, wait a minute, I'm single. I'm on the market. I have value. I could say something to her. I could just walk up and say something.
Want to watch me jerk off?
Trying to think, what am I going to say? What do I look like to somebody like that? And then I realized it's been way too long. I've just been standing there staring at
her. Like a bull.
I have no identity in the single world. I look at them, I don't know what they're doing. I tried just jerking off to Girls Gone Wild the other day, just to re-enter the community that way, just to feel part of it. And I bought it, not the commercial on Comedy Central. I paid money like a grown-up. I put my credit card down and waited to come to my house. I'm an adult. So I'm trying to jerk off to Girls Gone Wild. I can't do it because I'm a father. I'm too old. I'm just getting mad at everybody in the video.
Don't do that.
I'm like, you fucking irresponsible bitches, go back to school. What are you doing down there?
Go back to school. Put your clothes on.
There's 2 wars and a depression. Get the oil off your tits and study, for fuck's sake.
Thank you, Louis C.K.
That's hella funny, man. It's true, man. What he's saying about, especially if you're, I don't know, if you're dating someone younger, then you're also thinking like, oh, they don't know how long this could go and what could go wrong. And then other people, when they're older, you run into the stuff that I've mentioned before, where you run into people where they're already ready for like, you're a piece of shit already, like, you're just like, I bet you're just like the piece of shit I do, and you're like, so you either got people that have a lot of baggage or the people who don't, and either way you're judging because you're thinking like, oh, can I go through all this again? Can I be like starting over fresh? Can I really start something brand new?
Well, before you get depressed.
Oh yeah, tell me what I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum from.
Here are 7 scientific reasons that women love divorced men.
Okay.
And the subtitle is Everyone Has Baggage, at least you checked yours. Number 1, divorced dudes have done the commitment thing at least once. Because I think the biggest problem is, especially when I was like in my 20s, my longest relationship was like 3 months.
That's true. Yeah.
And it was just, move on and on and on. And, the second things got serious, I'd be gone.
Yeah, yeah.
So they know at least you know how to commit.
Yeah, yeah.
Divorced men are experienced communicators. I think that's kind of reaching. I think that might be why some of them are divorced.
Well, I think, I wouldn't say all of them are, but I definitely do think it has made you learn to, been in couples counseling and been together a long time. For anyone to be able to be together a long time, you've had to develop some ways of communicating,
True. And that leads into they deal better with conflict. Because you're always... You never, if you agree on everything, you're not really in a relationship because you're just not paying attention.
Yeah.
Because conflict is normal. Because a lot of people get freaked out, especially when I was younger.
Yeah.
We disagreed on something. I guess we have to break up.
Yeah.
So now it's like, fuck, my wife and I disagree on shit all the time. But that doesn't mean I'm going anywhere. I don't know about her.
What I have to work on is a lot of times I would just give up. And be like, all right, but then have a resentment later about it, just like, all right, that's not.
But you're aware of that now.
Yeah, I'm aware of it now.
Whereas
I can see where it's like I would make the choice of this is this is too much work, or I can see where this battle. So I'm just gonna go against what I would say and just keep moving. You know.
Yeah.
I think that is the wrong way to do it.
Exactly. And that is huge.
Yeah.
Divorced guys are more likely to be jacked, but not too jacked. So they did a study on 9,000 men, and they found that when guys get married, their BMIs go up, and when they get divorced, their BMIs go down.
That is true. I'm still bigger than I want, but for a while there, I was working out a ton.
Yeah, there's a stat here on how single men work out more often than married guys, mainly because it's fucking hard, you know.
Yeah. Well, it also gives you something to friggin' do. Like,
Sure.
I just couldn't afford to keep it up. I loved the gym I went to because it also gave you people to hang out with, even if you're just going and doing, like, you know,
Sure.
the group workouts and all that.
That fucking sounds horrible.
See, that stuff was fun. Like, that I need to get back into. It's not, you know, you just like your intimate time in the woods with,
Yes, I
with
do.
the men in
Stop.
Dick Smith Woods.
I would rather go
Digging holes and shitting in holes. How that's awful.
I would rather go backpacking by myself than be in a group 99% of the time.
Ay, ay, ay.
Divorced men are probably more mature. just
I
'cause-
think just older men end up being
Yeah,
more
but
mature
even
too,
in
just
your
because you end
20s,
up learning. Yeah,
I think it forces it on you
it forces.
because you
it.
got to make decisions that you don't when you're single.
This is true. Yeah, yeah.
They're more likely to be DILFs.
What's that? What's a DILF?
What's a MILF?
Oh, you never hear DILF.
I know, because it's not a thing.
I totally didn't even put the acronym together.
Yeah, but divorced men are
MILF,
more
you-
likely to have kids. And the one way you look at it biologically is it's living, breathing proof that you are virile.
Yeah,
You're not because you got snipped.
yeah.
But-
This is true.
but
I
it
can
just
make it
shows.
like, yeah, but I could also take credit where I don't have the credit to be like, yes, I make beautiful children.
Yeah, no, there is something to that.
No, they usually go like, so your ex was was the
Your ex
really
was the hot one?
was your ex like and had like
So your beautiful daughter got your mother.
yeah,
the
and you're
wife's
like,
looks.
why are you asking that? Well, isn't it obvious?
Your kid looks a lot like you, which is she really does look like a blend of you two. And then finally, they don't believe in, and this is in quotes, the one. So the
yeah.
idealism is gone.
Yeah, and that's true. That's totally true. I think you grow together.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know.
and there's just that idealistic bullshit of everything has to be perfect. It's gone.
Yeah, yeah. You can't be like,
there is
I'm
no
waiting
perfect.
for the one to show up. Yeah,
You know, the grass is greener on the other side. It's actually the grass is greener where you water it. So
yeah.
anyway, just make it fucking work. And then this is the part where I'm going to hand it over to you. The article's called "I'm divorced and ready to date," but what the hell goes in a dating profile?
The first thing I think you would want to do is for me, I had friends help me, but then I also made friends with some of the women I worked with that had been single a long time, and they were the ones that explained to me stuff like, did this person die? They disappeared. That's ghosting. Oh,
Yeah.
so ghosting just that they're talking to multiple people. I'm like, well, why would you talk to multiple people? They're like, oh, you have to. Well, why? Because people ghost. They disappear. I'm like, oh.
And don't send dick pics.
Yeah, and that's funny that you even like have to say it because they would show me the pictures they get, and some of it is just not just the dick pics, but just the pictures the guys would randomly send to them through the day. And I've had a couple women do the same thing to me, where it was just like you get so many at once too that you're like, oh my god, they have a folder, you know, like these aren't all from the same time. This is like ugh. You get a bunch and you're like, you know, I know this is supposed to make me go like get hot, but but it doesn't. Instead, I'm like, I have, because that's part of the thing I think of being older is like, I have too many questions raised by these folks.
Who took this?
yes. And why do you have them ready to roll?
Well, it's
Like,
funny because like my co-host
Yeah.
on Gag, you know, she has just untold dick pics that have been sent to her, and she just saves them like, haha, look at this one, look at this one, haha,
They
look at
just
this.
keep
look
them,
at-
yeah.
And instead of what they're hoping for of like, oh, I need that,
Yeah.
it's like, ha ha ha.
They laugh. Yeah.
But I don't know
Yeah.
why you would do that.
And I didn't keep none of the ones that got sent me of photos of. Well, I didn't get dick pics, but I got, you know, just because another thing too is I didn't want anything on my phone where, like, you know, when that got sent, the first thing I sent back was, don't send me stuff like this. My daughter grabs my phone all the time, you know, and it's like that also ruins any sexiness
Well,
out of it.
I
'cause
probably
then
would
they're
have
like,
said I appreciate the picture. However, my
Yeah.
daughter often grabs my phone.
yeah.
So, and I understand your knee jerk thing of knock it off. But
yeah, see, that's another part where I'm
Yeah.
probably messing up.
it's like,
See,
I don't want to
you
cut
know
this
better
off.
than you know better than I do already.
Well, talking about pictures, one of the things in this article, and I'll post links on the
You
show
want
notes.
selfies in the bathroom with no shirt on.
No.
You want
But it does
pictures of
say your
No.
pictures do matter, but
do.
obviously find one that's flattering, but don't fake it.
and realistic. I hate
Exactly.
I hate the
This is what it
filters.
looked like when I was 20.
or even filters. I think filters, like I will pass up on profiles when they have all the freaking, like, every photo is a Snapchat filters. Like, come on, man, you can't see who you are. Like, I actually like to have a couple in there that are just like goofy, because
Sure.
I think like you had mentioned earlier, just offhand, like, well, that's why you're single. Like,
Yeah.
they need to know a little bit.
Sure.
Like, I'd rather them know up front than we hang out a little bit and then they go like, wait a minute, you know.
I mean, you got to understand, when I started going out with Kim, there weren't even apps, let alone dating apps.
Yeah.
Like smartphones weren't even a thing.
Yeah.
So this is all new to me. So you're talking about, how do you tell if something's been Snapchat filtered?
Oh, well,
As I sound 90
well,
years old.
no, the way you said it, it is totally that. Being single again after I was in a relationship for 22 years.
Jesus.
It was like Captain America when they make fun of him in the movie, where they're just like,
Never saw it.
"Oh, you're ridiculous." But you should, and the fact that you don't even know the story of Captain America just
Don't
from
care.
the comics,
Don't care.
furious. You're making me
Never liked
furious
Captain
right now.
America.
Anyway, he is in suspended animation, because that's what
Yeah.
happens if you fall in the ocean
Of
and
course.
it's too far north or south. You get to live, and until they thaw you out, like, it's awesome. If you're about to die, you just want to get dropped in the ocean.
Okay.
So they thaw him out, and now he remembers it being World War II.
Sure.
In hindsight, now that I look at when they brought him back, which was like 1963, it's only like, what, 13 years
Yeah,
or
'cause
something?
he was in World War II.
15 years.
Yeah.
It's not what they is now, where they really make it like he was gone
Sure.
50 years, But that's how it feels. So much has changed
Mm-hmm.
in dating that it feels like you've come out of, like, where you're just like, what? They do what? You have to know what? Like, and the Snapchat filters, the only reason I know about that is because Oli liked them, because her mom had showed them, and they put like little glasses on you or
Okay.
hats, but as they're doing it, it's also soft focusing the shit out of you, or putting like little rosy cheeks on
So
you.
you don't see
and
the
shit.
third nostril.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where it's like, it's such a heavy filter.
Sure.
But then you also see other people and then my friends that would show me pictures of guys, a lot of guys were doing that stuff that's like putting a filter on them. So it's like, it just smooths everything. It's just,
Sure.
it's like when you go to a photographer, and there's but ones I get mad where they would touch up to the photos to the point where it's like I look like a wax dummy.
Mhm.
And that's what the Snapchat filters do. It's like, or, somebody only puts one photo, or they put, no photo or something. It's like, that stuff's ridiculous. But I think the main thing is getting to talk to people who have been going through it
Yeah.
and have been dealing with it. Because at first I really thought sometimes, like, Jesus, what's happening? You really don't know. It's like there's new words for stuff too.
Yeah.
Like, I had to look up stuff where it was like I'm polyamorous.
Mhm.
I look it up. It's like, what?
Yeah.
They made up a word for you just like to be. It was like, no, it's more than one committed relationship. No, it's not.
Remember, were you the one telling me about girls with a U?
Yes. Oh my God. And it's always, that's a bad sign when you have to stop and like you have to open up another window and Google and go, all right, what are they saying?
Yeah.
Oh no, not that. It's like, you better be into girls. Wait, what? Because the photos too, they can take the photos and
Sure.
doctor them too. So then if you don't read the byline, then you're like, wait a minute.
But, I mean,
Yeah.
for what it's worth, at least they're being forthcoming in a way.
In a way, but the thing is, like, I choose
I know.
to see straight women,
I know.
but there's sometimes it's like flat out guys pop up, and it's
Yeah.
like, that's because they're choosing to put themselves as a
Sure.
woman. So that still comes through.
I don't know. It's at least they make a clue to it. But yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
big thing is, make sure a fake picture might get you in the door, but it's going to lead to problems after. I mean, because who was I talking to? But she was like, the guy that she met was surprised. Was like, you look exactly like your picture. It's
Oh
like,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, most of you guys don't do that.
It's like a unicorn, man.
Yeah.
It's like it happens a lot, but I think it happens more to women than it does to men.
Oh, I bet.
From what I've heard, there's ones where one of my friends had said, like, it hasn't happened to me, but she's like, you better make sure there's a smiling picture in there because a guy I met had no teeth.
Oh, fuck.
And it's like, oh my God, you know.
Was that on methmatch.com?
Totally, yeah. Yeah, some of them met where they were just like, the pictures were fully like over 10 years
Yeah.
old. And you're like,
Yeah.
what did you think was going to happen here? Like, why would you do
She's
that?
going to like my personality.
Yeah, why would you, you know, like, to me, it makes no sense to make that extra hurdle or something to be like, okay, now you're already like coming off as like, let's start this out with the fact that I lied about my photo.
Yeah. I know.
Let me say also that I don't actually have a job and I live in a basement and
Well, one of the things I talk about is make sure some other people see it before you go live with the profile.
yeah.
So
Well,
that
see, I haven't done
people you
that on
care
the
about
newer
that would
ones.
tell you, you know, what the fuck are you saying here? You know, you're coming off like a stalker or
Yeah.
you're too nerdy here.
I had a really good one when my friends, when Roger and Chelsea helped me do it. You know, Chelsea helped me the most, his wife. Then what happens is you go for a while, and then you're like, screw this, and you delete them all. And after a while, like now I'm basically usually putting like single dad, artist, teacher or something like I don't even write something
I
anymore.
would never let Roger touch my profile.
No, that's why it was more you know, he didn't
His
really-
wife I would trust.
Yeah.
Not him.
Yeah, and I think that's the smart thing is like I know my photos I pick now are probably stupid compared to when you actually had help. So I think that is a good idea. If you're like
And not a guy.
Really
if you're
serious
a guy,
about it, yeah.
Don't have a guy check it out.
No.
Have a woman
No,
look
a
at it. Because
woman
guys
should
will be
be-
like, that looks cool, dude.
yeah.
I like how you put your head on Rocky's body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
And that's because some of us can't help ourselves to
Yeah.
be like, that's really funny, and I want to see what happens when that happens.
yeah.
Like
Someone called you?
like I wouldn't even like be mad. I would be like, how did I not see that coming? That I asked
Yeah.
Robert to help me. And be like, well, how did that one picture go? You want what in there? Like,
Must have driver's permit.
hey, 18 and over.
Jesus, that's just creepy.
That's like a funny.
Oh, fuck.
Well, it makes it worse when you're like, yeah, it's like I don't think about it sometimes where it's just like, you know, one of them was like, I was just like, they're 30. And it's like,
Yeah.
you know, whenever I talk to Roger or somebody, he's the one that always puts out like,
Yeah.
that's 17 years,
Yeah.
dude. And that means when you were, and it's like, I hate that game.
know.
You know, that game's the worst. That means
She was
when
born
you were,
when you were a senior.
yeah, that stuff. He loves that stuff.
Yeah.
But then again, yeah, it's a can't win. What it is that's where I think the Louis C.K. thing is true on some cases where it kind of ruins it. Because you're like, sometimes you're like, can I start this all over again? You know, can I?
Why you go with one that's already there?
Can you
Yeah, go ahead.
pause it?
Here's a story about a bad daddy.
Okay, we're back. I have no idea where we left off, so we'll
I
just go
know.
straight to the bad dad.
Yeah.
This is out of South Carolina. This happened a month ago. Orangeburg father accused of threatening to kill teacher.
Why? What happened?
So apparently he went to go pick up his kid at the school,
Yeah.
and he is not on the list of people that are allowed to pick up the kid.
Oh.
And so he started getting upset, and he left and came back.
Oh, so he wasn't, but there's a reason then if he's
Yeah, of
not
course.
supposed to be on there. Yeah.
And then he came back, and they said, "Why are you at the property? You're not supposed to be here."
Yeah.
And he became loud, used profanity, and said, "I'm going to kill someone here."
Oh my God.
And then started yelling, making a scene.
They did the right thing. Thank God they
Yeah.
didn't let him, like, you're not on the list, man.
And he was telling cops, "I
Yeah.
picked her up here all the time." And he denied that he threatened to hurt or kill anybody.
Ignore the witnesses.
So good for the school for not handing the kid over. And turns out that he's got domestic violence stuff already.
Thank God. Good job, school, man. Good job.
Yeah. So it's it's a short one, but again, I
Yeah.
do these mainly to make us feel better about ourselves as fathers.
Yeah.
Because we haven't done that yet,
Yep.
as far as I know. And
Well, they've had it too where we were supposed to pick up one of Oli's friends after
Yeah.
school one time, and the mom had told the teacher and
Mhm.
the other one, and they were supposed to let the office know.
they didn't.
And they didn't. So then I had to call the mom, and the mom was able to vent to me
Nice.
before calling the office. So thank God for that, because it was like, what the guy?
You stupid
Yeah.
ass.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know, man, but you gotta call them so we can take her. If not, But you don't want them to get taken, so
No.
they shouldn't go. And
I agree.
they changed it at Oli School now, which is really cool, where they now, which you would think that should always be the case, when you come in to help
Mhm.
or come in before, if you're going to be on the campus now, they take your driver's license to check it's you, and then your badge is not you handwriting anymore. It's got your photo on
Yeah,
it.
I had to do
That's
that
awesome.
for my kids' school. I actually had to register at the education department or whatever, and they did a background check and
Well,
fingerprints.
they do all that, but then what would happen is when you go in, they just have you do a
No,
check
they have
mark.
badges for us too.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so this one now, it's like that makes more sense to me. It's like you're not checking. People
Yeah.
could just check fingerprinted,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't know, or
This is
if
true.
in the old way. Yeah, and I had parents when I was at the other school that would complain where it's like, oh, they won't let me come help, because I didn't get fingerprint. I'm like, well, why don't you want to get fingerprinted?
I think they also check to see if you're vaccinated too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
good.
Go get your, just go get
Yeah,
your
I had to
TB.
do a TB test. Yeah.
Go get your TB test. Go get, quit complaining. These are not things that I'm on your side for.
No.
They're like, oh, I can't. Like, oh, really? You can't make the time to do it? Then don't.
And these
come.
would be the people making the biggest fucking noise. If
And that's
something
how they were.
happened.
They were.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. It's like, yeah.
Why didn't you check? Fucking
Yeah.
asshole. Anyway, email us, thestandupdads@gmail.com. I want to hear from you international dads. We're getting a bunch of downloads from Mozambique, which is fucking cool.
Where is Mozambique?
It's just, this is the one I talked about before. It's like to the northeast of South Africa.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I want to know what you guys think. And
I gotta ask my friend. My friend is from South Africa.
That's
Another
not-
Robert.
okay.
I wonder if he. Yeah, no, because it could be you tell somebody that we do a podcast. I wonder if it's somebody.
Oh.
It could be.
We have downloads
But you
in
have
South
people.
Africa.
But don't you have cousins over there too?
And they don't listen.
Yeah, I've checked already. Well, then what is it?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Anyway, email us and subscribe. Find us anywhere you find your podcasts, and it'll just pop up automatically every Sunday. If you need artwork,
Go to pencilforhire.com. Pencil FOR hire. I'm also Pencil for Hire on Instagram, and I'm gonna try to start doing some like comics now. My brother's got me inspired because
Good.
he's starting to do comics on Instagram. And he's putting them on some other sites, that are, that'll show comic strips and
Mhm.
stuff. And it's kind of got me going where it's like,
I wish you would
Be fun.
upload all the old Clumsy Loves.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah,
Mm.
that one for sure is gonna get it because I was considering too. Doug was saying like you should continue it but change the name, and I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to change the name. I could continue it
name is
now as
good.
a single dad.
Yeah.
Like it's just part of.
It fits for you.
Yeah, yeah. That means the comic strip would go through
Yeah.
3 different things because it started when
Yeah.
it was before we
Before
had a kid
Yeah.
with a kid, and then divorced single.
Yeah. And she could still make cameos,
Yeah.
make her angry face. But
She's like, you're not my problem anymore. And then each strip just ends it. It's true.
check out my side project, The Gag on This podcast. We record every Wednesday at Blacktop Comedy Club up in Rockland at 5:30. We interview local comics, have a great time while we do it, and there's an open mic afterwards. I cannot remember the next guest that we have coming up this week, but that's okay. They're a good time, and if you don't get to see us live, listen to it on wherever you get your podcasts. And Nick has a sponsor, Bag of Dicks. There's a link in the show notes. Click that and enter the code GAGONPODCAST. You get 20% off. You can send a bag of dicks to whoever you want. Let's see. This is pre-New Year. Hopefully you have a great New Year. We'll talk to you guys in 2020.
Have a good Christmas too.
It already passed.
Oh yeah, that's right. I hate the timing on these things. All right, so this comes out, so now it's have a good New Year. Ay. It's like freaking Total Recall. It's like okay, future Mike. Enjoy.
This is
Enjoy New
top
Year's.
5 nerdiest episodes we've ever had. Have a good New Year.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.